Thank you very much for taking the time out to watch this video, and yeah, we'll jump straight into it. So in our meeting, along with Ben Lesh, we were talking about the use of RxJS, etc. And as I said to you as well, in the email, and you responded to me as well, that would be good maybe to kind of show you what or what could be improved in terms of my use of RxJS on this. So here's an example. So as it currently stands, I'm making an Ajax call to an API to retrieve the users and also to retrieve posts. There are two observables being used on this page. One observable, which is a combination of two requests under the combine latest function. Those two API calls is the users and the posts, and then the second observable is this here, right in the middle, that displays the user and the posts that correspond with that user. So just to kind of show you here, if I click on Leanne, for example, this comes up, the name and also the posts. If I click on Erwin Howell as well, the name and also the details and the posts. And then if I click on Patricia and so on and so forth, it displays. And I've also added distinct until changed as well in the whole chain of it all, so that if I click on Erwin, for example, we're not making many requests, it's just remaining as that singular one. So here is the code. So as you can see right here, I've imported all the necessary things. I've created my component. I've got the read-only subject here. I've got the data observable and the selected user observable, which I mentioned earlier, the two observables I have. I've included the typicode service as well, and in my ng on init, which means obviously when the Angular component has initialized, I've basically said, okay, well, with the selected user observable, I want you to actually listen to this pipe, the subject, and pipe it, and basically pass in a series of operators. Number one, distinct until changed, to ensure that if it's the same user, we're not going into the next step by making requests over and over again. The switch map then takes the user, slaps it into a fork join operator as well, which then with two keys. The first key being the user, the value being an observable of user, and then the second key being posts with the value of the get posts by user ID. Function call, method call actually, which is from the typicode service, which is just basically a series of calls here. Service HTTP calls. And then in the data, I've basically said, okay, well, combine latest, which seems to be deprecated, combine the users and the posts, inject them into this function here, and then pass them as keys into an object, which will then be piped down into map here. And with the map, what I'm basically doing is I'm just slicing out the first 10. That's essentially it. And what you get as a result of that is this whole component here. So I've got the data observable, which I'm async piping here, renaming it as data, and then injecting it into the app users, which is a DOM component. So I'm saying, okay, if data.users exists, then passing the data.users into the user's property, and listen to the event when I've selected a user, which happens here. When I click on that, it basically says, okay, this.subject.next, and it passes the user in, and as I mentioned already up here with the selected user, it listens for that. It checks, okay, has this user already been selected before? If it has not, then go to the next step and fork join, pass the user, and get the post by ID, user ID. And then in the app user, the selected user observable is then piped again here, renamed, and I've passed it into the app user. App user again is a DOM component, and so is the app posts as well. And if you actually take a look at app users, change detection is on push, taking out the detection change because nothing is going to be changing in this component. Users, imports and the output, and then on click event. What I could do really in here is I could just do when user select and then emit. I could do that, but I like to explicitly state exactly what is going on, hence why I have this method on click here, as I've stated in here. The same for app user as well. Like when I click on a particular post, right in here, there, when it goes through the list of all the posts that belong to this user, it basically does the same thing. And I could do when post selected inside here as well, but I like to explicitly state it. But that's essentially what my component looks like. So please let me know if this is acceptable or not. But yeah, this is essentially it. I hope you like it.